Maria Mandl was one of the most notorious female concentration camp guards during World War II. She was held accountable for the deaths of hundreds of thousands of people at Auschwitz and was eventually executed for her crimes in Poland. Known for her ruthless nature, she trained other women to become guards and played a significant role in the operation of Nazi camps. Mandl was captured by the Allies at the end of the war and sent back to Poland, where she faced justice. She had built a reputation as a strict and cruel officer, known to high-ranking Nazi officials. She was directly involved in sending prisoners to gas chambers and was accused of horrific acts of violence. Born in 1912 in Austria, she was the daughter of a shoemaker. Her father opposed the Nazi Party, but Mandl left school at 12 and later moved to Switzerland before returning to Austria. She worked various jobs, including as a maid, before becoming involved with the Nazi regime. Initially, she sought a job in law enforcement but was instead encouraged to become a camp overseer. She later admitted that she had no understanding of what the camps were when she first joined, taking the job mainly for better pay. Mandl underwent training where she was indoctrinated with Nazi ideology. She started her work at Lichtenberg, a camp for women, where she quickly gained a reputation for her brutality. Under the influence of senior officers, she took part in severe punishments. Witnesses described her as merciless, often beating prisoners unconscious. At 27, she was transferred to Ravensbrück, a camp for women near Berlin. Prisoners there lived in extreme misery, suffering from hunger and exhaustion. Many described their dehumanizing treatment, recalling horrific scenes of bodies piled up. Mandl targeted certain prisoners, shaving their heads and subjecting them to relentless violence. She was seen kicking a woman to death and took pride in her role as a teacher, training new guards in harsh discipline. Mandl also had a personal relationship with an SS officer, Edmund Browning. After their breakup, she reportedly took her frustration out on prisoners, executing several to express her rage. She was later transferred to Auschwitz-Birkenau, the deadliest Nazi camp, where she was put in charge of the women's section. She managed operations with extreme cruelty, ensuring strict control over prisoners. She was responsible for selecting individuals for execution, particularly those deemed unfit to work. She monitored the arrival of new prisoners and played a role in deciding who would live and who would die. Her name appeared on execution orders for thousands of women and children. Some survivors recalled her strange dual personality, one moment lost in music, the next involved in acts of brutality. As the war neared its end, Mandl was moved to another camp in Dachau, away from advancing enemy forces. She tried to escape by hiding in the mountains of Bavaria but was arrested by American forces in October 1945. Her name and photo had been widely circulated, making her a wanted figure. She was detained at Dachau and later extradited to Poland in 1946, where she was imprisoned and put on trial. During the 1947 Auschwitz trial, multiple witnesses testified against her, describing her involvement in mass killings. She was found guilty of war crimes, having played a direct role in the deaths of 500,000 people. In court, she appeared anxious and unable to hide her emotions. The evidence against her was overwhelming, and she was sentenced to death. Mandl was held in Montelupich prison while awaiting execution. The execution method used was slow strangulation rather than a quick drop. On January 24, 1948, at 7:30 a.m., she and other former guards were led into the execution chamber. Hooks in the ceiling held nooses, and prisoners stood on boxes. The executioner secured the rope around her neck and removed the box, causing her to struggle before losing consciousness. Her final recorded words were, "Poland lives." Her body was later given to medical science. Maria Mandl remains one of the most infamous figures of the Holocaust, remembered for her brutality. Though she initially took the job for financial reasons, she quickly became known for her cruelty. Her execution marked the end of a dark chapter, bringing some measure of justice to her many victims.